The Twisted Metal franchise never ceases to surprise the fans with intriguing and mysterious characters, and Minion has to be one of the most interesting additions to the franchise. The character has been a mainstay in the Twisted Metal video game series, and appeared in the original Twisted Metal game that was released back in 1985. Since then, there have been multiple versions and story arcs associated with Minion, and now, the recently concluded Twisted Metal TV series Season 2 also features the character, only with a fresh twist. In this video, I will deep dive into the lore of Minion, from the backstory of this mysterious figure to the unique anatomy that is associated with him. The video will also speculate on the future of Minion in the TV series, as it sets up for the third season, and there might be some major spoilers from Season 2. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin.
Touch her again and I'll show you what we do with fish around here.
How was Minion first introduced in the Twisted Metal video game? What was Minion's backstory? When Minion was first introduced in the original Twisted Metal game, he was brought in as a powerful boss character who drove a heavily armored tank called the Minion tank. He was the winner of the previous Twisted Metal competition, and this added a legacy to the character, which established him as a highly skilled and feared combatant in the tournament. His main motivation to feature in the tournament was to get his revenge on Calypso, the one who organized the Twisted Metal tournament. Minion was a demon from hell, and Calypso had stolen his powers. Now, Minion wanted to regain the stolen powers so that he could return to Hell and reclaim his lost status there. Later in Twisted Metal 2, his story was not the central part of the narrative, but he still remained an imposing figure. He returned as the powerful tank driver and boss who still wanted to regain the complete control of his powers. He challenged the competitors as he defended his claim as one of the deadliest participants in the tournament. In Twisted Metal 3, Minion appeared as a boss and playable character, and his backstory was consistent as a demonic warrior who strived for vengeance and power. It continued with his deadly combat abilities and destructive nature, and he remained a boss character in Twisted Metal 4 as well. It was only in Twisted Metal Black that his backstory was given a new spin, and it only made things more interesting. How does Minion's story unfold in Twisted Metal Black? For those who don't know, the entire sequence of events in Twisted Metal Black is depicted to have occurred within the mind of Marcus Kane, and many fans have interpreted this as the events within a nightmare or coma-induced dreamscape where Marcus is trapped. Minion in this narrative is revealed to be the split personality of Marcus Kane, a man who is deeply tormented by a psychological trauma. Basically, Marcus and Minion represent the two sides of one fractured psyche, where Minion is the demonic and violent side of the personality. As the darker alter ego, Minion drives a heavily armored and powerful tank that is fitted with deadly weapons, and he emerges as one of the strongest contestants in the competition. However, in this version, Minion is not just a demon, but a symbolic embodiment of Marcus's inner struggle with madness, rage, and his unending lust for power. The ending of the game suggests that Marcus Kane is still trapped inside the demonic mental realm, and the aggressive side of his personality, Minion, still holds control, as the good side of Marcus is trapped away. What I love the most about Twisted Metal Black is how it humanizes Minion to some extent, while retaining the dangers associated with him. It is no longer about his straightforward desire for revenge against Calypso, but a more complicated battle within Marcus Kane's mind, and you cannot ignore the psychological edge to the story. The later games like Twisted Metal Head On and other titles have simply gone back to his demonic origins, and he has been reintroduced as the familiar boss character that we have known him to be during his earlier appearances. Personally, his backstory from Twisted Metal Black is the most interesting one for me, but his overall aura in the video game franchise is simply unquestionable. How does the Twisted Metal TV series change the entire story around Minion? The second season of the Twisted Metal TV series has quite a few surprises and twists in store for the fans as the titular tournament takes place. Here, Minion is introduced as one of the antagonistic characters, but the story around Minion has been changed completely. Initially, Minion is shown to be a demonic entity created by Calypso by using the corpse of the fallen Dollface, and this adds a much-needed supernatural tone to the series, which, I have to admit, is rather consistent with the dark and grim ambience of the narrative. Minion is the final boss in the tournament and bursts into the climactic fight at the end of the second season. The biggest shocker, however, comes when Minion is revealed to be Krista, aka Dollface, who is the sister of John Doe and fell during the earlier events. It turns out that she has been weaponized by Calypso, and now he pulls the strings when it comes to the actions of Minion. The human connection is rather minimal, and if there is still any consciousness of Krista inside Minion, it's rather dormant. There is a lot of emotional weight behind the character, which is evident from the fight between John Doe and Minion. It doesn't play out as one of the violent and traditional battles, but as one that haunts John because of his childhood trauma. He attempts to break through to Krista by whistling an old tune, but while Minion shows signs of familiarity with the tone, it doesn't work as he had expected. John fails to fight back against the control of Calypso, and his savior act may have to wait for now. For me, the biggest innovation here is to take the monstrous character from the video game series and add a tragic touch to the whole story so that the fans now feel more connected to the plight of John Doe and Minion and the new dynamics of their sibling rivalry. What is Minion's anatomy like in the video games and in the series? It's quite obvious that someone like Minion will not have a regular human anatomy, and truly, the anatomy and powers of the character are demonic in nature, especially for the video game variants. As a demonic warrior from hell, the appearance of Minion is fearsome and monstrous. He generally has a humanoid appearance, but there are certain demonic traits as well that highlight his dark supernatural powers. Twisted Metal Black is more about the psychological dimensions of the character, and the TV show has another twist in the form of a refurbished corpse to be used as muscle power for Calypso, powered by Calypso's special superpowers to be reanimated. Everything you need to know about Minion's tank and combat vehicle. Just like Minion, even his battle tank or combat vehicle is one of a kind. And in the video games, he's usually shown driving the Minion tank or the XJ-39 mine tank. The tank is massive and a heavily armored war machine that comes with a striking black design and 6 large wheels. The tank is known for its extreme durability and power, and it's not an exaggeration to say that the tank is one of the most powerful vehicles in the franchise. In Twisted Metal 4, the tank looks like a more traditional tank, and it is equipped with treads and a massive gun, which is a major change from the multi-wheel design. The tank is so big in the games that it sometimes takes up a large part of the game arena, which is a great indicator of its sheer dominance in battle situations. What are some of the main weapons used by the tank? Minion's powerful tank comes equipped with some of the deadliest weapons in the Twisted Metal universe. A very common and conventional weapon that we see with the tank is the quad missile, that is highly damaging and can immobilize targets upon impact. When the opponent is at close range, the flamethrower can come in handy, and the homing napalm blasts are also deadly as these homing fireballs track and destroy opponents. My personal favorite in the arsenal of the Minion tank is the freezing missile, which has the ability to freeze the opponents and make them vulnerable to further attacks. This is a feature that is only observed with Minion, and the other generic weapons in the tank include machine guns, rear flames, and so on and so on. It requires special skills to defeat the heavily armored tank, even though it is slower than most of the opponents. Not only can it absorb the most extreme attacks, but it can also launch some of the most damaging assaults, and only the right strategy can help you get the better of the tank in the games. What will be the evolution of Minion's storyline in Season 3? It seems quite likely that Season 3 of Twisted Metal will take place at some point, especially because of how they have ended the second season. The story possibilities are plentiful, but here, I'll quickly discuss the potential future of Minion in the narrative, now that it has been revealed that she is actually Krista. Firstly, we might get to witness a whole redemption arc featuring Krista as John Doe tries his best to free her from Calypso's control. If the true self of Minion is brought back, then it might end up as a useful tool against Calypso. It'll be fun to see Calypso's own weapon turned against him, and if Minion uses her powers for good, it will be quite a change from the video game lore. Let's not forget that John has sworn revenge on Calypso for betraying them so badly. He let John and Quiet take the blame for the explosion that he caused earlier, and now they are being hunted down as fugitives. Will Season 3 be payback and redemption time for the likes of John and Minion? Only time will tell. I am also curious to find out more about Minion's true origins in the show, and how Calypso really created her. It will be interesting to see how Calypso forged her from Dollface's corpse, and this will give us a clearer idea about the vulnerabilities and hidden powers of the character. I also don't rule out a dual Minion persona, where there are moments where the Krista persona is awakened, and there are other times when Calypso's control takes over. There might even be a tragic sacrifice on the cards, where in one of the defining moments, Minion sacrifices herself for her brother, in addition to his motivation of destroying Calypso. Lastly, I would love to know if there is a chance for Krista to be brought back to life in her original form, especially because the rules of the tournament dictate that the winner can ask for just about anything and the wish will be fulfilled. Will John fight for the identity of his sister this time around, just like his sister persisted with attempts to bring back his memory? Season 3 is set up just perfectly, or so it seems. Marvelous verdict. Minion will take the center stage in Season 3. I think it is fairly obvious from all that you have learned in this video that the character of Minion is one of the most defining personalities in the franchise, be it from the video games to the TV series. Things are poised for another roll of the dice, and Season 3 will unleash Minion and the struggles between John and Minion as they face each other. Hunting down Calypso will be no easy task, and going up against a formidable opponent like Minion will only add to the challenge. I don't know if we will get another Twisted Metal video game in the future, but going by the popularity of the franchise at the moment, if a game is ever released, you can expect a meaty role from Minion there as well. Do let me know in the comments below what you think about Minion and her role in the franchise, and I would also like to hear about your favorite moments featuring the character in the games or in the show. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one, be safe, and thanks everyone.